Ki Fateh. So we're on the fourth pauri of the Ades se Ades quartet. Char pauriyan ne, where Guru Sahib is asking us to bow before Akal Purakh. I have a little bit of a difficult time calling that creative power Akal Purakh He. I know that this is just a way of referring to that power, but I try not to say it if I can. But if we all slip into it, that's fine, because that's just the way we're all used to addressing it. So this is the fourth pauri, which is part of the dialogue that Guru Nanak Sahib is having with the Siddhas. And in the three preceding ones, Guruji has talked about the outward symbols that identify the path of the yogis, and he told us what they should mean or ought to mean, and what are the substitutes for those. So we've gone through all of that, and in this pauri, perhaps the question that was asked by the yogis, it seems to be that the question asked by the yogis was, so you have told us that these are the kind of hoops we should wear, and this is the kind of coat we should wear, and these are what our ashes should be like in the preceding three pauris. So where is this Akal Purakh, or this creator, or this power that you are a follower of? Where is this power seated? Where do we find it? And in response, Guruji is saying, Asan loy loy bhandar. So asans are seats or postures or places where anyone goes and sits or relaxes, or postures that are created to bring peace of mind or stillness or equipoise. So in Gurbani, 84 postures of the yogis are referred to. So the yogis are saying, okay, you know what our postures are and what our identifying marks are. You tell us, where does your powerful creator resides? Where is that seat that you bow to? Because in the three previous pauris, Guruji has said, Ades se Ades, bow to that entity, bow to that power that was there in the beginning, that was there before time, that shall always be there, that is pure, whose sound manifestation pervades everywhere. Am I on that line, Vijay? Or not yet?
Get a space, see if you can see back there. The English translation on the right line. But
okay, so it's okay. I'll leave it there, right? So the Guru's answer is that asan is unique because it is everywhere. The treasure houses of that asan are in every grain of sand, in every droplet of the ocean, in every being, in every creature that has been created by Akal Purakh. Asan loy loy bhandar. Endless asans. Wherever you see, whatever you behold, is the seat of that authority that I bow to. Yours is limited to 84 postures, 84 asans that you create. With your asans, you can create, you can force your senses, you can bring order to your senses, but you cannot create lack of duality. You cannot get rid of your ego. You cannot become immaculate. There is a Shabad that actually says this, that your asans will only take you to a limited extent. But the asans on which my creator resides, they are everywhere. They are the true asans. And the bhandars, the treasures that they contain are endless. You distribute this churna, in the previous party he refers to it. You distribute this prasad, and when it finishes, you go order some more. You have grocery lists. You have to reorder things when they finish. But the bhandars of this Akal Purakh are endless. You can mine precious stones from it, rubies and diamonds and whatnot. You can get coal from it. You can get jewels from it. You can get, there is wind, JJ was referring to, and water to sustain you and nurture you. And this bhandar keeps on giving. You sow one seed and it becomes endless. It's a continuum. It'll keep giving you fruit, and it'll keep giving you fragrance, and it'll keep giving you flowers endlessly. That's the bhandar of my Creator, of my Akal Purakh, of my Lord and Master, to whom I'm asking you to bow. Everything in the world is finite. Everything in the world has to be reordered, redone. It's transitory. There's an end to every effort because we get exhausted. There is an end to every material thing that exists. Even gold, the mines, they will end at time and stop yielding that. But the bhandars of my Vaheguru, my Creator, will never end. The air will never stop giving you that coolness. The wells will never dry up. The food that this Akal Purakh has created for every G will always be there. This Shakti has created beings after providing their ahar, their food. First, he has provided their sustenance and their nurturing, and then the creature or the being has been created. And so, going back to Nirbhavata, we're constantly worrying about where our sustenance will come from. And Guruji tells us, the bhandar te kadi khatam hone wale nahi hai. Ude ude aave saiko sa, tis pache bachre charya, tin kavan khilave, kavan chugave, man mein simran karya. Those bhandars, that worry, that concern should never be yours, because asan loy loy bhandar, that abundance is forever going to be there. It's a continuum. And that's why it's the truth. That's why it is the only truth that pervades, that is there. Then not only that, asan loy loy pandar, jo kich paya so ekavar. That power doesn't need to be replenished. You don't have to add more to it. It is self-sufficient. It is always sufficient. And that's why I don't have to worry. Because I know it shall always be there. All animals, their food is already provided. It is only the human that has to do the uddam. It is only the human that has to go out and move from city to city, from nation to nation, from job to job, to better his or her circumstance. For the rest, even for the worms, the soil is provided. Even for the snake that sits for 6 months in one hole, the air gives him the food. He extracts from it and grows the poison. For every being, the ahar is provided. But for the human beings, we have to do what? Udam. Because that's what we need to attain that asan. Udam is the key, as we have learned in the previous talk. Udam is the key. So that asan is there in the material form, in the physical form, in the world and nature that has been created, and that asan is also that spiritual throne that we have to attain. Again, in which our udam is needed, our effort is needed. That asan is also in our heart, in the essence of our being, in the essence of every being. And when I recognize that, then I can only bow to everyone and everything around me. And why do you bow? Not because it enhances the greatness of the person to whom you bow. No. It's because it increases the humility and the effort that you're making to surrender. It's symbolic of that. So asan loi loi pandar. Endless seats of power, of authority, of abundance. They are all around. And there is that seat of spirituality that you have to work towards. And even in that, the khajana is inside you. The temple of God is within you. You just have to contemplate and be quiet and tune into it. Because the Lord, the Creator, put it there when you were created. When you were sent through that Agni of the womb into the world, that temple of God, of that Creator, came with you. That is the Bhandara that exists within you. So on both fronts, on the physical and the material front, the Bhandar provided to you is endless. And on the spiritual front, your ability for compassion and forgiving is also there. You just have to tap into it. You don't have to go and refuel it. You don't have to ask somebody else for it. It is there. Just tap into it. Tap into it morning and evening. There are 2 hours of Amrit Vela. I always thought there was one. The dusk, the dawn, that time between light and darkness comes twice. Once in the morning, the time of Japji, and once at sunset, the time of pause, of Rahras. And then at night, the soila, when you sleep in the lap of that asan. Your bed is also that asan, where with soila, you turn it into the Guru's lap. Asan loi loi pandar. I was telling Betu yesterday. Huh? Thank you. I was telling Betu that I attended a seminar, a yoga workshop with Anhad, because he wanted that from me as a gift on Mother's Day. And there was this beautiful lady who said that the days she's able to do her Japji at Amrit Vela is a day of success for her. We all seek success. And the day we claim our asan, our spiritual seat in the morning, and the day we listen to the vibration of Rahras, the time of Rahras changes from when the sun sets. Again, Anand has turned me on to a beautiful recitation of Rahras by the Chardi Kalaa Jatha. And they have sung it so beautifully, that I wait for sunset these days to be able to hear it. It's enchanting. Those sounds are so comforting. And then when it comes to Chaupai, and I surrender to my Guru and ask for protection, Hamri karo haath racha. I know that that asana within me is there for me to be seated in that moment and be in that moment. It's about awakening. Awakening to realization, awakening from slumber, awakening from our laziness. Alas. Alas is huge, and that's what keeps us away from Uddam. The alas to go on sleeping, the alas to let things happen and keep on watching that show that JJ was referring to, that we all know. It all resonated in all of us. And once we abandon that, that asana is waiting for us. Asan loy loy pandar. We don't need to go anywhere, you know. You drive your SUV and every week you have to refuel it. But that fuel is endless. The bhandar of that fuel is there. It's not going to end. It's there in the caverns of Mother Earth. But you will need to fuel your car. But the real bhandar is not going to end. Asana loy loy bhandar. You have to work for your food, to put the food on the table, as they say. But you don't have to pay for the air you breathe, for the water that nurtures and nourishes you. Asan loy loy bhandar. You can live without food for days, but you cannot live without water. You cannot live without air. You cannot live without water and air. Food, yes, you can live without. People who go on, satyagrahas and monvat for days and weeks and sometimes months, they stay without food. But the air is free and endless. And you don't have to make an effort to get that. Asan loy loy bhandar. It's there. It's been created even before you were born, so that you could breathe it and inhale it. And your breath becomes your connection to that seed, to that creator, that chain, that link. That's the blessing. And that has made you the human, given you the birth. Once that breath goes, everything goes. Asan loy loy bhandar. That air, that breeze is free. Jo kich paya, it's endless. It's endless wherever you look. Wherever you look. Similarly, the wells of compassion inside you, because you're part of that pilot light, are there, buried. And once you connect, believe me, the compassion, the empathy will well up. In those moments of non-duality, there will be no competition. There will be no them and us. Because you will see the asana of that Lord, of that Creator, of that power in all. And in yourself, that will become your force of stability.
So one of the big challenges is to actually do that in our lives. Gurdwara tells us
You have to remind yourself.
Everyone and everything. And if you can do that, then as you said, you overcome a lot of negative things.
And
See
Vichi,
the divine.
absolutely. And
But we forget very easily.
we forget very easily because of the duality, right? Which is also inherent in us.
Yeah.
And that's why Guruji says that you have to nihatte panch jawan, right? You have to defeat them. And it is that consciousness, that awareness of that asana inside you that will become the force to defeat these. It's only that. And that is experienced through moments of poise and stillness and meditation and reflection.
Because Guruji tells us if you see with your eyes, God everywhere. Dukh nahi sab sukhi hai re eka eki bete. If you can see the one with your eyes everywhere, then there's all peace and happiness, and there's no suffering.
But we have to remind ourselves, right? Anytime that conflict arises, you can either let the conflict win, or you can let your peace win. You can be right, or you can hang on to your harmony and not care who's right. These are our daily challenges. And we all do this battle every day. And the choice is ours. There is a choice. That's why there is accountability. There is the command and the hukum and everything happens because of that. Of the karmas that you've created. But within that, every moment, you do have an option, that split second. What am I going to do? Am I going to live in that seat, in that asana of purity? Or am I going to create that conflict and duality and prosper in that or get destroyed in that? We've all faced them. We've all made those choices. We've all created conflict. And oftentimes we've had the courage to walk away from conflict and say that I don't want this. Because it's conflict that allows that asana, that presence, asana really presence, right? To be diluted. Or the awareness to be diluted. The asana is never diluted. But your connection, your awareness for it to be diluted. And I think the reason for these discussions is self-reflection. That where am I sacrificing it? What are the things that are taking me away from it? What are the things that are keeping me in tune? I was tearing up when JJ was showing us all those banis. Because when Bani resonates in you, it creates Vairag. And when you get into conflict and when you go away from the presence, there is no Vairag. And every moment is a choice that we have, offers a choice. So it's so beautiful, this body, after the three parties of, what we are not and what we are instead. This is about the presences every day. And it's all about the presence. Ja dekha jab tu hai pai. Khol kapat. Open my eyes. Raise my awareness. So that I'm able to see you. Gyan Anjan Gurdiya. Give me that eyeliner or surma of spiritual wisdom, of Gurmat, so that I can understand sab kich karne bahar nahi. This asana is also the dharti and also our own body and our own heart. And once we understand that, it's a beautiful shabad that says that I wanted to search God. I went to the jungles. I went to the temples. I roamed the whole wide earth. I hung upside down. I held my breath. I did endless tapasya. And then I realized that there is nothing in any of this. I didn't have to go too far. I did not have to go too far. Kari mind. There is a deer that carries a fragrance inside him. And the deer is so innocent and so naive that he keeps looking. He is enchanted by the fragrance. He goes everywhere looking for it. And never realizes that the fragrance is coming from within his being. We are like that deer. We just have to experience our own fragrance. Man tu jyot sarup hai. That own light. We have to nurture it. Further on in this body, there is another word that I want to draw our attention to. That asan loy loy pandar, jo kich paya se kamar. Kar kar vekhe sirjanhar. Sirjanhar. This is such a beautiful word. The creator and the nurturer and the nourisher. It doesn't just create. Every moment the creator nurtures us and nourishes us. Kar kar vekhe sirjanhar. He's created it and that is happy to see us blossom. Happy to see us grow. Happy to see us do well. Has given us all these gifts. This power is happy to see us enjoy them. Sukhmani Sahib tells us that all these gifts that you have of great mansions and great horses and these amazing jewels and fragrances, they are all okay for you to enjoy as long as you remember who you are and who these gifts come from. But we enjoy the gifts and forget the giver. Daat pyari, visar gaya data. We remember the gifts, but we forget the giver. So this is a reminder of remembering the giver at all times. Because after creating us, continues to nurture us. The child grows. Each year the child grows, becomes an adult, becomes youthful, becomes taller, becomes healthier. The plant, the sapling, little beautiful leaves are coming out. Little buds are there. Flowers come, they appear. And then they go and the fruit comes instead. So juicy, so fulfilling, so satisfying, every bite of it. Continues. It's not just one season. And that's how the Creator is nurturing and nourishing us every day. Kar kar vekhe sirjanhar. After doing it, is watching over us, taking care of us, protecting us. Chakir thamare ramkar. That circle of protection is afforded to us. Dukh lage na pai. When I am in that sanctuary, like my Guru Arjan Dev was, dukh lage na pai, pida, dukh, dard. Because the Creator is there. The circle of protection is also given. And that's why I just have to become aware that I can be fearless. Once I tune in to the fearless power. Kar kar vekhe sirjanhar is going to nurture me, nourish me, look after me. This line came out spontaneously as JJ was presenting. Jista Sahib data hoy, this no mar na sake. Another one. Shadr anek chalavat ka. All the arrows are flying all around you. They are attacking you. They are slandering you. Shadr anek chalavat pa. Tau tan ek na lagan pa. That is the power that is protecting you. Kar kar vekhe sirjanhar. Nurturing you, nourishing you, protecting you, but the condition is Jaan tu mera hoye gaye, sab jag tera hoye. Recognize the presence. Know that you are the seat of that authority. Within you is that temple. And every moment of that awareness is a moment of protection, of khera, of effulgence, of abundance, of joy, of Chardi Kalaa. And that is the power that is endless. Not those 84 postures that may help you control your breath, that may still your body, that may take away your hunger, that may make you look very adroit at becoming a pretzel, but they are not going to take away your fear or give you abundance. You will still have to order and replenish and do all of those things. All the car, all the work that you have to do will continue. But when you are in that presence, then the presence works for you. This brings me to another very important thing of saran. You know, we talk a lot about saran, right? For a Sikh, the saran is coming into the Guru, coming into the surrender and chakran Amrit and saying, Guru, main tera bada. I have seen the wonders of Amrit Chakna in so many people. Transformational power, that's what Amrit is, and it transforms. And we are so scared कि मेरे को राहत नहीं रहेगी. And a wise man once said that you are not going to keep the rahat. You are not going to be able to maintain that purity. It's the rahat that will maintain you. It's that commitment that will keep you. It's that presence that will guide and protect you from the evil influences of the Panch, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. Ego becomes the biggest obstacle. And when I surrender, and when I bow, and when I have that charge of Vaheguru inside me, because what is the manifestation of that asana? It is the sound current. Eka kavao kita pasao. That sound current, that naad, that is prevalent everywhere. That is there in me, that needs to be awakened. Once that is awakened, and once I can go back in my moments of silence and get nurtured by that, then I'll become fearless in those moments. In those moments, Kar kar vekhi sirjanhar, I will see the presence nurturing and nourishing me and keeping me away from anger, from conflict, from lobh, from ego. Nanak Sache ki Sachi Kaur. This is the Kaur. This is the doing of the greatest doer. Nanak Sache ki Sachi Kaur. You know, we often say, oh, bada paat karta hai, par oda gussa nahi kiya. काला करता है उसके बाद आखा बोलता है ताड़ी कार की है. What do you do? That's what defines you. The rest is all effort. How you live your daily life, that is your temple. Whatever else you are doing, it's just, you know, your effort, your one day it will hopefully bring fruit. But what matters is your God, your karmi, how you behave, how you act. And sache di kaar kiya, this is what the Guru describes. वो सच्ची है, वो बदलती नहीं है, वो continued है. नानक सच्चे की साची कार. And it is to this power, Guru Nanak Sahib says, that I bow, that I surrender. Not because the power becomes greater, but because it brings humility to my mind. It teaches me to bow, to surrender, to yield my own intellect, low intellect, to that highest power, so that that touch can ignite that flame and reignite it in me over and over again. Because Asandoi Pandar, that Pandar is endless. I can go to it anytime and get recharged. But I have to find the space. I have to create those moments. I have to invest in my own evolution, in my own self. It's not going to happen otherwise. And if you're just caught up in the Maya that we enter the moment we are born, and we don't make an effort and we don't do that uddam, it's not going to happen. And the days are going to fly by and the life will end and it'll be all over. So every moment, I ardas hai that Guru, keep me in your sharan. Bring me into your protection. Be the surgeonhar, because I am your child. There's a word called Iana, which means, mona, bachcha, jinu samajh nahi hai. As long as a child is Iana, right? Chota, bachcha, he loves the mother's lap. He wants to come into the mother's lap. He's delighted when the mother picks him up if he's crying, because the mother's lap is soothing, nurturing, nourishing. But once he grows up, you don't see him coming and sitting on the mother's lap. But Gurbani tells us that in order for us to attain Vaheguru, we have to sit in the mother's lap always. We have to become Iana. We have to become childlike. Because it's only as a child that we will be able to attain and feel the presence of that mother. So all the chaturaiyan, all the syanpan, chaturai syanpan, kite kam na aaya, lakh chaturai syanpan, kite kam na aaya, to become like a child and Yana who's sitting in the mother's lap. And never feel that I'm so grown up and so wise and I'm embarrassed to be there. And that asana will always embrace us. Because that surgeonhar has that quality, that endless quality of nurturing and nourishing us. And when I bow, Ades to say Ades. Ad was there in the beginning. Anil, that's pure, that never gets any, and that doesn't get spoiled, that doesn't get any thabbas or any discoloration. Ad, Anil, Anad. That sound current, that's everywhere. That's beyond sound, and yet it is that nad that prevails in everyone. Ad, Anil, Anad, Anad, Jug Jug echoes. Forever, forever and anon, that vase, that form has been the same, the formless one. Vase, the vastra that he wears. It's always been there in the Prakriti, in the creation, in the beings. Everywhere. Always has been everywhere. In every particle of sand, in every drop of ocean, that asana is there. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa. Any comments, any questions? Small body, score line. Wealth of wisdom.
Anahat okay. Anahat okay.
Ad, Anil, Anat, destroyed. Everything is prone to destruction. Jug Jug Eko.
Anad te Anhad iski fark hai.
Anat is the Nad. Anhad is also the Nad, Shabad.
Say Anad.
Anhad, Shabad.
Anad is without beginning.
Without beginning.
Ad is from without koi family.
Anad te Anhad
Anad is without beginning.
Anad is without beginning. Anhad is
without end. Who can't be destroyed.
Anad is without sound also. Anad. Nad nahi hai jide vich.
Anad is slightly different.
Anad is also beginning. A different
Ad
interpretation.
is beginning, so Anad is without beginning.
Without end.
Anad is without end, so you can't be destroyed.
Isn't unheard like the unstruck?
Yeah.
Is what they say,
That's
which
right.
Ad is before time.
Ad is
before time.
Anad is that doesn't get destroyed. Anahat is jidi koi nahi hai.
Anad refers to that sound current she's talking about.
The Nad.
It's a spiritual,
Celestial music.
yeah, it's a music that is heard by saints in that highest state. They hear something which they describe as the instrument.
that is not Anad.
That's not it. No.
That's anahat. This is anahat.
That's no boundaries.
Anad, this is Anad. Yeah, it's slightly different.
Any comments,
But
any
all the
observations?
words, so they are-
I have a question. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਦੋ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ
evening and morning.
Japji Sahib, Vichaar Sahib. Japji Sahib तकरीबन ਕਾਲਜ 'ਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੇਤ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਵੇਲਾ ਖੁਸ਼ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀ ਤਰੀਕਾ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਲਓ
ਕਿ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬ੍ਰਹਮਣ ਨੂੰ
You know,
ਕਿੰਨੇ
there's so many. We all miss it often, right?
ਉਹ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਜਾਂ
That's fine. Anytime, anytime. I was just saying that there are optimal moments, right? And those are dawn, moments of dawn. And that's, you know, but there's another line that says that all moments, huh?
Something ki sagi vela was the whole line.
Basically any moment that you contemplate, that's a moment
Anytime is
of,
not remember why.
yeah. Anytime, any moment is the time to remember, yeah.
It has to do with commitment and making that come together get a personal pattern. But you have to fit it to your lifestyle. If the commitment level is more important than the regularity and the specific details.
Is it okay if you reverse it?
Absolutely.
Sometimes I do it around in the morning and this is not on.
All body is good at any time. When you do an akhand part, you do it whatever time it comes, right? It's still beautiful.
Yeah, especially the Rana Sahib comes just after.
Yeah, whenever it comes, this body I'll get it. So
So it's
this
just next to each other.
So these are just, you know, it's good if you can have a daily pattern of your life.
क्वेश्चन ऐसा जो उठाया सी कि दो टाइम में जो सेट
Sunset and sunrise.
बहुत ही अच्छा है
Yeah.
ना
You know,
होए किसी कर सकते
Again, coming back to
do it. She's getting
JJ,
excited by it, which is good.
there's something that JJ said.
ये डेली
That-
रूटीन है तो कुछ कर सकते हो जो ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਖਿਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਏ ਹੋ ਬਾਹਰ और you
What is it?
you can
It's our lifestyle has
You work
become.
around it, so your life still has a regular
Yeah.
pattern.
I
You're putting in the
understand.
time and commitment,
I
and the details have to change. Now I try to get very up. I've always tried to get up early in the morning for Simran, but when I was traveling a lot for business, it used to change at certain times, and sometimes you just can't.
because it play it
You're
back
out
in your
because
presence
you're late at night, you can't get up.
from the day to night then नहीं पता लगता है
Yeah,
शाम
that's
से
right.
नहीं पता लगता है how do you
Yeah, but if you
determine that करो
but if you still take out some time every single day,
फिर
you
आज
go back.
ठीक है जैसा पड़ेगा
You know, we were in JJ's talk. We were talking about. He was talking about love and discipline. Right? Those are the two words that come up often. I think one very important manifestation of love is having discipline in just about every sphere. Discipline translates into love, and love demands discipline and commitment. Something to think about.
I think commitment is a more meaningful word there.
Yeah. You know, if I don't have discipline in my life, in pretty much any sphere, commitment brings discipline. When I'm committed, I'll be disciplined. Otherwise, it's all running amok. You know, whether it's your relationship with your spouse or your creator or your children. I think discipline is very important. And we are lacking in it. But it's just an awareness moment that perhaps we need more discipline.
Just at the same time, because God always loves you,
Always forgiving.
always forgiving
Yes,
and loving.
yes.
So it is our intentions
Yes,
behind our doing
yes.
which carry a lot of weight. So if the intentions are there, you continuously do it over a period of time. It can't be ideally the perfect time, because the perfect time is whenever you are sitting and doing it with love and affection is more important than following that particular duration. At the same time, I think you also mentioned in your discussion one place about Ardas, and one of the Vichaar coming on the radio indicated that Vichaar, Ardas, you can come, get it done here, do it wherever you feel like. But the one that has a higher potential of being heard is the one that when we are in a deeper problem, in a deeper hole or emotional pain, that seems to kind of get heard more often, more easily, somehow, somewhere along the path. So God is never here to give us pain by any means or problem. It is His way of connecting us back to Him. So the intentions of God are only for us to love, to come back. So like we all know, God is always loving and loving and kind and merciful. So we should always kind of keep that in mind, that His intentions are always good for us. It is our thinking that may not be optimum or perfect, which is not. Therefore, we have the challenge of going through this beautiful life. And with His blessings, only request God, bless everybody. Because it is your blessing that are the most powerful, not our deeds or actions. Because they're not perfect. We are very far away from where we need to reach. We know where we need to reach, but only You can take us there. Help us with our actions, our thoughts, our mind. God willing, everybody may reach there.
Amen. Palo Samao Simran Ki Bariya is what you were thinking of. That every moment that I remember. Palo Sama Simran Ki Bariya. Palo Sama Simran Ki Bariya.
Because others,
Vichaar said, he talked about being in the hukum always. So is it it's the same thing, right? Ades and being in the
Ades is bowing.
So we
surrendering.
Right. We also talked about the sun and the moon and the rivers and the whole universe, everything moving according to His hukum, in His hukum.
Yeah.
Is it even possible for us to break that hukum or not be in the hukum at any time? Or
We hukam hai.
it's submitting to His hukum. It is being, when we are out of tune with it, then everything negative happens. When we are in tune with the hukum, we recognize it. I guess that's what that is.
So it's not like one of those laws that all these other things in the universe follow, and we somehow have the choice here
We have a choice.
to be able to break.
We have a choice.
To be able to break the sun and the moon and they don't. All these.
It's not breaking the laws.
It's going
It's not recognizing. It's not being in tune with the divine and following our.
And we know that, all of us know that, right? Those moments of feeling the presence and those moments of being away from it.
You're not breaking the law. You're not breaking
Intention, Paul
physics
used
laws.
Yeah.
You are breaking the spiritual law. You have the
Come in and say, come.
I
Which-
think we don't have a choice to be in hukam or not to be in hukam. We are always in hukam, but we can be not happy in hukam, or we can be happy in hukam. That choice we have. That choice we have, but we are always in a hukam.
Always in hope.
Yeah. We are always in a hukam, but we have a choice to be happy or not to be.
Well, like any words, hukam has different levels of meaning. It's the newest word.
Manmukhi hukam se.
Hukam, like many words, has many different shades of meaning. There's at one level, it's the laws of the universe. Everything happens in its hukam. Nothing can be outside of hukam. But an individual, in terms of your state of mind, that's a different thing. I mean, a state of mind that's in tune with hukam, that is a spiritual state.
I moved it, I moved it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.